Dr. Koh Poh Koon.
Mr. Chairman, let me begin by thanking Mr. Darryl David and Mr. Leong Pereira for their comments on our local agriculture sector. Both members spoke about the importance and how we should continue to nurture the growth of our agriculture sector. I agree with them. That is why AVA launched the Farm Transformation Map in collaboration with the Industry Consultation Panel last year. The Farm Transformation Map provides a platform that brings together government agencies, industry players, and institutes of higher learning to transform our farming sector to become more resilient and productive. The Farm Transformation Map remains a live document that is constantly updated based on evolving needs. Well, I'm glad to report that we have made progress. For instance, AVA launched the new farmland tenders on the 20-year leases last year. Now, this is the first time that AVA is tendering out land using the fixed price tender method. This allows tenderers to compete on concept as opposed to price. Proposals will be evaluated based on production capability, track records, relevant experience, innovation, and sustainability. Any farmer who is committed to being productive and has a good track record will stand a good chance of winning the tender. Eden Purely Fresh Farm is one such example. It started out growing vegetables using traditional farming methods. But in 2012, the owner, Mr. Chan Yao Tiong, decided that the farm needed a new approach in order to stay competitive. So he brought in Mr. Desmond Khoo, a technologically savvy 25-year-old entrepreneur with strong marketing skills. Mr. Khoo also owned a few vegetable stores in wet markets, as well as a fresh food import business. Through this complementary partnership, the farm began exploring innovative ways and technologies to increase their productivity. I'm happy to note that Eden Purely Fresh Farm won a plot of land in the last tender exercise with a proposal to grow vegetables using greenhouses with innovative monitoring systems. This shows that with the right partners and mindset, farmers can indeed take their businesses to the next level. In fact, this ongoing series of tenders will provide existing farmers with a clean slate of sorts to bring in new technology and transform the way they operate without the encumbrances of previously existing operations. There are also opportunities for farming in unconventional spaces. Rooftops are interesting possibilities in our highly urbanized environment. In 2014, we piloted Singapore's first rooftop farm, Comcrop, at Scape Mall in Orchard Road. We saw its potential to scale up and facilitated conversations between Comcrop and JTC for a 35,000 square feet rooftop space on one of JTC's food factories in Woodland. With space the size of 7 basketball courts, Comcrop has now finalized plans to develop 8 high-tech greenhouses with environmental controls. We will continue to push for such innovative projects to optimize our land use and to grow our urban farming movement. But farm transformation can only succeed if industry takes the lead to embrace innovation as well. So in this regard, I'm glad that a few members of AVA's Industry Consultation Panel came together last October to form the Singapore Agro-Food Enterprises Federation, SAFEF, or if you can pronounce it, SAFER for short. SAFER aims to represent, advance, and promote the agro-food sector in Singapore for economic development and for export. As a ground-up initiative, SAFER's founding members collectively contribute more than 50% of our locally grown produce and represent some of our most productive food farms. Having these progressive farmers band together to walk this journey with us makes me confident that we can raise the sector's productivity and improve our food security. I look forward to more farmers joining SAFER and working closely with us. And indeed, we want to do more together. We have worked closely with the industry and taken on board their feedback to review existing schemes and develop new initiatives to better support our farmers. Let me highlight three key initiatives. First, we will further enhance the Agriculture Productivity Fund, or APF. Many farmers have told us that they are happy to adopt more productive technology. However, new farming systems require heavy capital investments. Advanced greenhouse systems with environmental controls and automation, which can double their production, can cost around 4 million Singapore dollars. We appreciate that this poses challenges for many of our farms. So to help farmers take this leap, we're increasing the APF productivity enhancement components co-funding cap from $700,000 to $2 million for our strategic food farms. Now, this is a significant enhancement. Beyond the capital cost of implementation, farmers have told us that they need assistance in testing these new systems prior to a larger scale deployment to ensure that the technology can be adapted to our local conditions and produce. Several rounds of trials are usually necessary before farmers can commit to a particular technology system or a system at a commercial scale. Hence, we will now introduce a new test bedding component to the APF to co-fund up to $500,000 for food farms that want to test bed new solutions. Secondly, we will develop a Singaporean workforce for our farms of the future in partnership with our institutes of higher learning. It will provide a talent pipeline to ensure our farms have skilled manpower to undertake transformation and innovation. For a start, Temasek Polytechnic will launch its new Earn and Learn work-study program to attract IT graduates into the aquaculture industry. Under this program, participating farms can enjoy up to $15,000 worth of incentives for each graduate to defray their training costs. I'm glad that 6 of our food fish farms have already pledged support for this program. The graduates will start their 12 months attachment program from April this year. I hope that our farmers will indeed take this opportunity to create a positive learning experience for the graduates. This will help encourage our young talent not just to enter the industry, but also to stay and contribute more to the industry. Third, we will do more to help increase demand for local produce. As our farmers become more productive, they will naturally need more consumers to support them. So in this context, we organized the first SG Farmers Market last September at my village mall in Serangoon Gardens. The event generated plenty of interest. More recently, we co-organized the second farmers market last month with SAFER. More than 25 local farmers participated, and I'm happy to say that most of them sold out all their products to the crowds that visited the market. Very good response. 5 busloads of my own Yio Chu Kang residents visited the market and snapped up the produce. I've heard good feedbacks from my residents. I also know that many of our grassroots organizations also organize groups to support the event, and for that I want to thank everyone for your support. We will keep up the momentum and bring farmers markets to our heartlands by August this year. AVA will also partner SAFER in developing a broader marketing plan for our local produce to raise our consumers' awareness. I urge consumers, especially Singaporeans, to support our fresh and nutritious local produce. These efforts will strengthen the ecosystem and the operating environment for our farms. But as the industry matures, we also need to start looking at the wider food value chain. We will continue to work towards creating an environment, an enabling environment, to keep our local agriculture sector commercially viable and sustainable for the long term. Now let me move on to supporting our families in need. Everyone wants a safe haven to call home, but some may have lost their homes or have been displaced. Several members have highlighted that this can be a difficult time for these families and asked about assistance for single parents, families in hardship, and our seniors. Minister Lawrence Wong earlier announced that we will lift the divorce time bar. HDB may also offer rental housing to those in need and displaced by divorce. Some may have no family to turn to. They also cannot buy a HDB flat until the divorce is finalized and their housing eligibility and budget are clear. HDB does help them. We will deal with them on a more flexible case-by-case basis. Ms. Cheryl Chan spoke about the housing needs of widowed non-residents. Now, following the demise of their Singaporean spouse, they may retain the flat with a Singaporean family member. Where there are young children involved, HDB can allow the flat to be retained in trust for the children, or let those with no housing options rent a flat. Mr. Muhammad Faisal Abdulmanap asked for housing policy to better cater to unmarried parents. We encourage those who live with their family to do so for mutual support with childcare. But each family does have different needs and circumstances, and therefore we will exercise flexibility when needed to ensure that every child has the opportunity to grow up in a stable and secure environment. As Mr. Saktiandi Supat highlighted, families in financial hardship may end up without a place to stay, and they may worry about being rejected from public rental because of past property ownership. In fact, HDB takes a needs-based approach in assessing applications for public rental. HDB considers their income, whether family members can accommodate them, and the applicant's ability to afford a flat. This takes into account also the sales proceeds from their previous property, if any. We have updated the eligibility criteria for public rental to make these considerations much clearer. Several members asked about how we help Singaporeans who do not meet the public rental eligibility criteria and how we cater to larger families with children. Let me emphasize again that this is why HDB's needs-based approach is important. While the public rental income ceiling is one such consideration, the cost of home ownership is another. Over the years, home ownership has stayed affordable, with more grant options and also higher grant quanta. We want to encourage home ownership whenever possible. Now, those who can afford to buy a flat, especially first-timers with grants, are not allowed to enter into public rental, even if their income is within the ceiling. On the other hand, others above the income ceiling may be accorded flexibility. For example, larger families have higher expenses, which we account for when assessing their housing options. In the last 3 years, we let more than 470 families with income above the income ceiling enter public rental. Today, a family of 3 can already rent a 2-room flat if they earn an income. More than 90% of renter households have 4 or fewer registered occupants. For the larger families, most live in the larger flats. I would like to assure Mr. Chong Ki-hyong and Mr. Pritam Singh that the waiting time from application to key collection now averages 3 months, down from a peak of 21 months in 2008. This is the result of HDB ramping up supply over the last decade to about 60,000 rental flats today. We will continue to monitor the need to build more rental flats. Some wait time, however, is inevitable as HDB assesses each application and consider the household's preferred location. For those in urgent need, HDB may offer them priority allocation or interim rental. For both rental and home ownership blocks, HDB and the town councils work together to ensure the cleanliness and maintenance of common spaces. Let me now address members' suggestions for seniors. Mr. Dennis Tan and Mr. Gan Tian Po suggested measures to help low-income seniors buy a flat, which we will study further. Today, seniors already have the option of short-lease 2-room flexi flats, which are highly affordable. Mr. Tan's suggestions to reduce the senior premium is already in place. All price components for short-lease flats are adjusted downwards based on the lease chosen. Now, with grants, first-timer seniors can buy a short-lease 2-room flexi flat for as little as $3,000. For second-timer seniors, we kept their resale levy at $30,000 and adjust it downwards based on the shorter lease. They can buy a 2-room flexi flat on a 40-year lease for as little as 58,000 Singapore dollars, including the resale levy. This is just over half of what they will pay for the same flat on a 99-year lease. We also thank Ms. Gerald Chan for her suggestions. While MSF actively encourages Singaporeans to make a lasting power of attorney, or LPA, and to do so early, this is ultimately a personal decision. We also note her points on means testing for seniors living in short-lease private properties. We will study these issues further with the relevant agencies. Home ownership is a cornerstone of our nation. And Mr. Gan Thiam Poh asked how we are helping rental tenants with this. Members will know of the Fresh Start Housing Scheme for second-timer rental families with young children. I'm pleased to update that more than 130 of such families applied, and 61 families have been in place. 31 of them have booked a flat, of whom 2 will be collecting their keys this year. One of our Fresh Start families is the Cheng family, who booked a flat in Yishun last year. With the Fresh Start grant of 20,000 and his CPF savings, Mr. Cheng bought the flat without a loan. After collecting their keys, the family of 4 can receive up to 15,000 in grants over the next 5 years, which will grow their CPF savings. For rental families who are ready to buy a flat, we want to help them to do so sooner. Therefore, we will reduce the minimum stay requirement for Fresh Start from 2 years currently to 1 year. Now, this means that eligible families may even be in place in the Fresh Start program before the first rental tenancy renewal. Fresh Start is still a very new scheme. We will continue to consider further enhancements with the advisory committee. We encourage all rental families, including those who wish to purchase a larger flat, to discuss their home ownership aspirations with HDB. On average, about 800 households move from rental into home ownership each year. Most of them are first-timers, helped by the affordable flat prices and our generous housing grants. Rental families also get priority allocation under TPS, the Tenants Priority Scheme. After we expanded TPS to include second-timer families in 2016, 150 more families have benefited. One of them is the Ng family. After entering rental, Mr. Ng found steady employment and grew his income. The family of 5 has recently moved into their own three-room flat in Punggol. I'm happy for them and wish them every success. Now, I hope this data and examples will assure members that we take a needs-based approach in providing assistance. We will continue studying how to support families on their home ownership journey, and I look forward to sharing more of our progress next year. Thank you very much.